everyone, this is Mariah, also known as Mariah Amazing.
And Yuna, hey guys.
Hi everyone, this is Melanin Voices. So, Yuna, how was your weekend? What did you do?
My mom was in town, so like I talked about last week, so it was pretty good. It was nice having her. I'm not gonna lie, I missed her. She braided my hair. We had like a real bonding experience,
Aw.
and then my dad came and she like threw me to the curb. So
Oh,
that's cool.
wait, so
She like literally,
are they together?
girl. Next.
Next question. What do we
It's
off the air?
complicated. What about you, girl?
I what did I do this week? Well, my friend Chantel's birthday was yesterday, so I went. Okay, y'all, I had a.
Tell me
Oh,
about it.
okay, so I went downtown, and it took me like 30, 45 minutes for a 25-minute ride just because the GPS kept rerouting me every time. Every turn I took kept rerouting me. And I'm like, let me just get there, please. I finally get there, and there's like no parking near the place.
Mm-hmm.
Except for like $25 parking. I'm not about to pay $25 just to walk in, hand her gift for her card, and walk out. That's dumb.
Right.
So let me just drive around. I drove around like 4 blocks away. There's like some, paid parking. So I'm like, okay, let me park my car. Paid for like an hour. I'm like, I'm gonna just go in there, say hi, hug her, give her this gift. So I walk the 4 blocks, whatever. Get inside. It's cool, whatever. And then I go ahead and leave. I finally do my departure, but I'm leaving a little bit delayed because my car is an hour and I'm leaving in like 47 minutes. And I'm like, I know it took me longer to get here. And I really don't know where my car is. I just have it on my GPS where I parked. Put it on my GPS, girl. Guess what? My GPS keeps rerouting me as I'm walking. Like, keeps me. I'm
What?
walking for 20 minutes. Like, I keep getting rerouted. I'm like, I know it did not take this long. I'm like, by this time I'm cold. My hands are like numb. Can't hold my phone. Girl, I'm on the phone crying, and I was like, let me just call Lyft. So I finally called Lyft. Lyft takes forever to get there. So I get to my car. Oh my God, please let me, because my hour and 20 minutes is up. It's done. It's done. I got there, it was already 20 minutes on the meter, so I put another hour on the hour, 20 minutes, I'd be fine. No, my hour, 20 minutes is done. It's like close, it's peaking on 2 hours at this point. So I'm like, oh damn, I do not want to have a ticket on my car, worse, towed. Get to my car finally after I get off the lift, and thank God it's still there. No ticket, no nothing. But
Wow.
the red light was flashing. Like I had definitely went over the time,
Mm-hmm.
so they got me if they wanted to. But I got out of there as quick as I could. But that was my weekend. It was eventful, and that was it, y'all. I had like a really tough week, y'all. Like some of my really cool people that I used to work with left, her and her husband or whatever, due to like family things. Don't really
Mm-hmm.
do it, but they left and they hadn't been happy there for a while now. So this probably was
Yeah.
like, a good thing for them anyway to get out of there. But I was like, I just like walked over to hug her and I was like, just start crying. Like, you know how you cry,
Oh,
you like you can't
what's
breathe
wrong?
kind of cry, like
Right. Oh.
and she was like, Mariah. I literally could not like speak. I was like that distraught. And obviously a part of me because they wouldn't be there no more and I was like really cool with them. Also a part because like I'm still here and I don't want to be here. And so that's put things to perspective for me. And so I'm like, I don't think no job is worth my sanity. And I feel like I have a good enough savings to where I don't know what I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't know what I want to do next. But I definitely don't know that. I know for sure I don't want to stay here. And I feel like this is the age. I don't have children. I'm not married. This is the age I can like leave a job. This isn't a career. Leave a job and be okay. So I've been battling with myself. Like, when I
Right.
want to leave this job because it is a job. But I want to leave this job and like get back to being myself, or at least a little version of myself, because I'm not myself. I feel like I'm always snapping on people. I'm always angry. I'm always mad just because I'm mad at myself. You know what I mean? So I'm just projecting, and I don't want to keep being so angry. I never was
Yeah.
this angry before, but this job has really put me in a place that I don't like to be. I just need to leave and
Mm-hmm.
be happier, or at least more lighter. You know. So that's it. Yeah.
So I just got one question. When you leaving?
I hate you.
Do we need to set a date? Like,
I
what's
need
up?
to. Okay, my date is June 1st. I'm leaving June 1st, and I say June
What?
1st because I have to. I already like set time aside to go to my sister's graduation and stuff,
Right.
But June 1st, I have my money saved. It ain't a lot of money, but it's enough to hold me over for a few months. So
Uh-huh.
we'll see what happens, and I have a pretty supportive. I don't want to move back to Detroit with my mom's side of the family. I really don't. But I know I could if I had to. You know what I mean? And I know that I could, stay with my uncle in California if I absolutely had
Ooh,
to.
let's move to Cali.
And I just
Bro, I'm always inserting myself.
don't know. I really want. I want to stay here. I just want to find a job at. So we'll see.
It's just hard when you like are from a place and you like live there. Maybe like not from, but you've been there for a long time. Like it just seems like you can't grow there for some reason. Like it just always seems like you have to move somewhere else to kind of move to grow.
Or at
But
least it's something different for a little bit.
yeah, for a little bit and then go back.
Yeah, exactly. If you're so inclined to.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, I'm sorry for my little breakdown that I had, but that's what I've been going through. So, I just want you to also know if you're feeling the same way in your stage of life, you are not
Leave.
alone by
Yeah.
by any shot. Like you're not alone. So don't feel alone. But yeah, that's it. And after this, let me stop being sad, y'all. Let me stop putting that burden on you. I'll say that for later. Let me go ahead.
Well, this episode is gonna be pretty deep, guys. So
Just a heads up. But
yeah.
let's go ahead and jump to Melanin Media. So let's talk about Starbucks and what happened with them.
Oh my gosh! So the story is that there were two black males,
Because
that went into a Starbucks, and one of the guys asked to use the bathroom, and the Starbucks barista, I'm gonna call her a barista, she said, the bathroom is for paying customers, and he didn't cause any ruckus about it. He said okay, and he went to his table. Him and his friend was there. They were about to have a business meeting. They were waiting for the rest of their party to join them. Well, minutes go by and the police were called on them. So the police show up and they arrest the guys. Like, that's long story short.
Wow.
So if you feel like I left some of the story out, I probably didn't. That's literally what happened. They literally did not do anything, and the police were called on them because they were quote unquote non-paying customers. But if you know, like I know, people go to Starbucks all the time and don't buy a thing. Like, I have a friend that goes to Starbucks or CC's and just to study. Like, don't buy anything. Probably just ask for a cup of water. Just go to use the free Wi-Fi, and I just don't understand.
Yeah, you're right. Like every time I go to Starbucks, like I actually just went there a few weeks ago for a business meeting, and the person I went there didn't buy anything, and he didn't get like told to leave or hassled or anything. Like even when in college, like going back to those
Right.
undergrad years, we used to always go there to study because they have free Wi-Fi,
Right.
and I know it's like, oh, it's a college town, but like no, I even see college students even in the inner cities and other parts of the areas, or even just anybody in general, just going to Starbucks with their laptop just to sit down, chill, relax, and get some work done, and nobody says anything. So that's definitely was racial discrimination. I don't care what anyone says. Um,
Right.
CEO did apologize on their official Twitter page, I believe. Apologize. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's cool,
Is
whatever. He actually sat down with the guys and spoke to them and had like face to face apology. I've heard
Mm-hmm.
as well. Yeah, but then the good thing that I've heard is that Starbucks
Yeah.
is
Closing.
closing on May 29th to have a racial bias training. Prep
Mm-hmm.
their employees to be better.
Basically.
Although I feel like it's a great gesture and I think it's a good start, I just hope that it's received the right way because so far what I've been hearing is some backlash, not all backlash, but some backlash from people who are very ignorant and very discriminatory themselves. They're just looking at themselves and very selfish, and that's the word I want to use. I'm just going to say selfish. I don't want to say any other word because I could. But
Yeah.
they're very selfish and thinking about themselves and their damn coffee, talking about how, oh, I won't be able to have my coffee for May 29th. Like, well, you know what's worse?
Grow up.
People getting murdered and shot just because you're black.
For no
Or
reason.
getting discriminated just because you're black. So go ahead, sis. Go ahead, Heather and Becky. You can hold off your coffee for
Because
May
who it
29th.
is.
You'll be all right.
All right. Why don't you go support your local coffee shop on that day? How about that?
Thank you. But yeah, so I just think that it's received well, and feel like it hasn't been by some people, but that's fine. I hope the employees receive it well because they're the ones that are gonna have to work there. and will be serving those who want to drink coffee no matter how they look. So I'm not a big
Right.
coffee drinker, so it doesn't really affect me at all. So, but for
Yeah,
does affect,
exactly.
I truly hope that it goes over well for them because I'm sure that they want that too. You know?
Yeah. It's good for PR too that I don't know what their real motive behind closing and doing this race awareness training is, but it's good. But I just want to know what their motives are behind doing it. Everybody got a motive, I feel like. So I'm like, what's up? What's really
Yeah,
good?
exactly. What the hell is really good? But
Speaking of what's good, let's talk about J. Cole's new album, B.
stop.
I'm way too excited.
You need to calm down.
I love these songs.
So the album is called Cody, and Hypebeast, Hypebeast.com to be exact. I'll link the article there. Released some quotes from Cole stating what KOD meant for him. And one of the meanings was kids
Mm-hmm.
on drugs. And it's, if I turn on the radio, he said, if I turn on the radio right now, it's not going to take long for there to be an advertisement to pop up that says, "Are you feeling down? Have you been having lonely thoughts?" And then they shove a pill in your face. The first response of any problem is medicate.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was king overdose. That's representing me and the times I was and am afflicted by the same methods of escape. And then another one would be kill our demons. That's the end goal. To face our shit, realize we have some shit going on inside everybody. I realize nobody is fucking perfect. Whether you want to or not, you're going to fuck up your kids in the same type of way because you got fucked up in the same type of way. Kill our demons is like finding that shit, whether it be from the traumatic childhood experiences, whether it be from a lack of attention, confidence, issues, insecurities, whatever it is. We gotta be honest with ourselves, look in the mirror or look inside and ask ourselves questions like, what's caused me to run this thing as an escape?
That he's an interesting character. He's an interesting person.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But you'd have heard the whole entire album and know all the lyrics, y'all.
I mean, I don't know all the lyrics just yet, but I'm getting there. Definitely. I don't have a favorite song yet. I feel like I need to listen to it a few more times. Wait,
Not letting up about it. She's going hard.
I bet if it was Beyonce, you'd have heard the album 27 times by now.
You're right. You're right.
So,
And so, what are you trying to
hey,
say?
I said it. I said what I said.
Anyways, it's not that I didn't like the album. It's just that I was busy. Goddamn, I was busy. Man. When I get in my car, I listen to hella podcasts. And I do listen to music. It's because I really.
Aww.
So that's how I do. I listen to. That's why I listen to podcasts. First of all, one, because I love them. Two, because it's my craft and I want to get better at it. So I just look and see what other podcasts are doing, how they are fresh and creating content and how they speak, just to make sure that I can translate that over to mine. So it's always cool for me. So when I do listen to music, it's because one of those podcasts, or not one of them, but all of them have gone off, and I have no other option but to listen to music in the car. Because usually I listen to the music in the car if I don't have the podcast to listen to, or I'll listen to music like while I'm at work, or I'll listen to music like as I'm like on the treadmill or something, working out. But for the most part, I do listen to podcasts mostly.
I got you. Most times when I'm in the car, I'm watching Netflix. I rarely listen to music because I don't know why. I just often ride in silence. But if something new comes out, I have to listen to it. And I listen to podcasts, of course, and I watch YouTube. I don't know if I've already said that, but I just felt the need to share that.
I agree. I mean, and I did like the songs I did listen to, if that makes sense. And I don't know like the actual like titles of the songs. I need to go back and see, but you did like the album though, right?
Yeah.
Don't say clearly, evidently.
Clearly, evidently. I like Photograph is one of the songs on there. I really like that song. That's one song that kind of jumps out to me.
Why?
Because it just you know how like you be on Instagram and like well, not you because you in a relationship, but for any other
Mystery Bay.
Anyway, so you see a person like on social media and you like think that they're interesting. You don't know them from a can of paint. All you can see is their pictures and they just look interesting to you. So that's why I like it, because I can relate to it basically, because I've been getting my thirst queen.
But first of all, you have a man.
Next, please.
So
next.
I'm trying to see if we have any other media to cover.
A lot's been going on this week. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, you know what? I can't think of anything that's as important than what we discussed. Obviously, Beyonce again at Coachella for the.
Bruh, we didn't anybody even say nothing about her.
That's important though, but I can't think of anything else because, like I said, that's important as hell. So what?
Nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Exactly. So that's all I have to say.
All right. You got that one.
But
Nothing.
what
You
you gotta
got that
say?
one. You got
Okay,
it.
bet. Thank you. Anyway, so that's that. Let's go
Okay.
ahead and jump into our topic of the week, though.
Okay, you guys. This is a deep one. Like we're about to discuss something that's kind of near and dear to me. So I might spit out a lot of information, and if you need me to kind of slow down, oh well, you can't. But Mariah, if you need me to slow down or repeat or anything, just let me know.
I got you.
So this is gonna be a little heavy, and I might even cry. So just a heads up to listeners. We are going to be discussing grief today and grieving and the grieving process. So, and this can deal with like the death of a loved one or a spouse or even
The death of anybody close to you.
a death of a thing, like a career that you really like love and you had to leave or whatever. We're not going to like focus on the death of things, more so about people. So just a heads up. So y'all ready? Mariah, you ready?
I'm ready, friend. Let's get into it.
All right. So first, we'll start off by defining grief. So I looked up some definitions, just so we're clear here. Grief is the normal and natural emotional reaction to loss or a change of any kind. It's also the conflicting feelings caused by the end or change in a familiar pattern or behavior. My grief story, I think pretty much anybody who knows me knows. I haven't really, before my cousin passed away, I hadn't dealt with anything so close to home, like on somebody that I dealt with on a day-to-day basis. So the loss of my cousin was like pretty detrimental to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and just say it just changed my life forever. So, and last week we came up on the 1 year anniversary of her passing away, so I thought it would be a good topic to discuss. So that's why we're going to talk about it. So grief is different for everybody. So we're just going to talk about what to expect if you lose someone, or if you've recently lost someone, or if someone has lost someone, just so you can kind of not tiptoe around them, but just know and understand what they're going through. So for sure, one of the first things probably is like questioning like your faith. I don't know if you, Mariah, are like quote unquote religious, but when someone like you love dies, it's just like, how can God or whoever you believe in let this happen? Does that make sense?
Yes.
You looking like
Looking at you like, what's up?
bro. I'm laughing because I'm so uncomfortable talking about this, y'all. Okay, all right. So that's definitely a big one. And when someone questions their faith as a sounding board or as a friend, I don't think you should really judge them, because they're kind of going through something that maybe they've never been through before, or they've never lost someone so close. So just be aware. Uncontrollable emotions, definitely. Oh my gosh. Right after my cousin passed away, somebody could say blue, and I would just think about the day that the sky was blue when we did something and just start like crying, or just think about it, or even like listening to a certain song. Like I couldn't listen to music for a while because it was so emotional to me. Like, oh my God, we love this song together. Or that one song that they play on Fast and the Furious, it's been a long day. That broke my heart. That song broke my heart. Definitely anger. And this can go a few different ways. Like I said, you can be at God. You can be angry at yourself. You know, if it was like a certain situation, you could be angry at the doctors. You could be angry at the person who murdered the, like, it's, anger can go, it can go far. And this one really hit home to me, the feeling of guilt. So when my cousin passed away, I felt like I didn't do enough. Like, I felt like I didn't love her the way that she deserved to be loved. Like, I felt like she did so much for me and I didn't do enough for her. Like, and then it's crazy because, like, right before she died, we weren't like on the best of terms because Christmas had passed and one of her friends had a party and she was like, my cousin was feeling really sad because her father passed away around Christmas. So she was feeling super sad and I was kind of already sad because I had just stopped talking to a guy or whatever. So, and she needed me. She wanted a hug, but when I'm feeling super emotional, I can't hug because I'm just like I'm a bust, I feel like, if that makes sense. Like, you know, if you're super emotional and somebody wants to hug you, like, you'll just start crying. Like, I just didn't want to do that. So she needed me and I wasn't there for her because I was thinking about me. So I just felt so guilty. And I felt like that for a couple of days. And then her friend, a mutual friend of ours that we have, sent me a video. And the video was of my cousin saying how she loved me and that she will always love me no matter what. And she can't wait to grow with me and go through life together. And it kind of lifted that feeling of grief for me. So I just want to let you guys know, like, take the time to make sure the people you love know that you love them. And if you love, like, that you'll love them unconditionally, because something like this could happen and they may feel guilty, but they don't need to feel like that. Like, if you were to pass today, God forbid, you want them to know, like, I loved you no matter what we've been through or no matter what we've gone through or what we're going to go through. I will always love you. Do you have anything you want to add to that? To what kind of emotions that maybe you went through that we didn't discuss, or emotions that you know someone who's, you know, something like that?
Yeah, so I know that you didn't mention self seclusion, but I definitely been through that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when my cousin passed away, well, I was able. My grandfather died. Everybody can tell you that me and my grandfather were like close, and he wasn't even my biological grandfather. He was my mom's stepdad.
Wow.
But I'm not close to my biological grandfather. He's still
Mm-hmm.
living, but I was really close to my step granddad. Like, I didn't even know he's my step granddad until, like, I was like older. Like, oh duh, granddaddy Jimmy's my mom's dad. Oh duh, like, but like granddaddy Alfred was like my granddad. Everybody's granddad.
Mm-hmm.
He never said this is my step granddad. Like, no, he was my granddad.
Yeah.
And so when I found that out, exactly, I was 8, and that really, like, that was the first, like, being 8 years old, like, that pushed you like a different, like, mindset. Like, what do you mean? Like, we're gonna go to Detroit next year. We're gonna see him. Mom's like, but we're not though. We're not.
Mm.
So that put things in perspective for me, because, like, when I said my granddad was my best friend, like, when I went to Detroit and people were like outside playing with their cousins and stuff, I'm like, no, I'm not staying home with Granddaddy Alfred. Like, make sandwiches. He had to, like, force me, literally, like, force me to, like, go outside and play. That's how close I was to my granddad.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so that happened, and I was like self secluded. I was like more. That's when I was like in elementary school. So I was like, I see myself like being like a mean girl. Like, I started like being mean, like not mean as like picking up people like, you done, da da da, but like just like if somebody said anything to me, I'm like, what'd you say? You know what I mean? Like, just mad.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I wasn't mad, I was self secluded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was 13, and I got the call that my cousin got shot. And to
Mm-hmm.
this day, we don't know who shot him. We don't know how it happened. We don't know nothing. We literally don't
Yeah.
know nothing about his murder. We just know he's dead. So to not have that closure,
Yeah.
literally, like, my cousins still talk about him to this day. Like, rest in peace. Like, I think I've never like dealt with his death because I never like wrote about him. Like, I write about him like every now and again, but like they do it every day or they do it like on his anniversary. They talk about it all the time. I've never really talked about Terrell. Only time we know about Terrell, like we're
Yeah.
really, really close. Like my best friend who I was friends with in middle school knows about him because she was there when I called her to get
Mm-hmm.
like when I called her with the news. She was right there, so that's like how she knows. But like if you don't know
Mm-hmm.
me, you wouldn't know Terrell. So that was detrimental
Mm-hmm.
to me because I definitely self seclude. I'm not. I'm different from those in my family because they talk about them all the time, which is absolutely fine because I grieve differently. But I don't feel like I don't feel as though I can like talk about him, and I'm about to get emotional, but just because, hold on, y'all, I'm about to cry. You done got me crying over here, y'all. Damn,
I told y'all we was gonna cry.
but that I could like really talk about him because they were so close to me. You know what I mean? Like growing up, like my mother's side, if you like, I don't know, my mother's side lives in Detroit, and my dad's side lives in Brooklyn. And I wasn't really close to my father's side. Like I've just started meeting them when I got older. But I was always close to my mother's side. Like I went there every summer. Every summer, like I never had a summer in Denver, Colorado. Like I never hung out with my friends in the summertime in Denver. Like I was always in Detroit, like the
Mm-hmm.
whole summer break. So I see them every summer, maybe some Christmases, but I didn't see my family throughout the year. So they have all these pictures with him, and they have all these pictures as a cousin, like a family group, and like going to all these different places. I don't have pictures of my cousin. Probably have like maybe 2 pictures of my cousin when we were like 8 years old, but like nothing like when we were like older, like in our preteens and stuff. So I don't have these memories to live off of. They do. And so I was like, although he's like a part of me and I love him and I'm sad that he's gone, I feel like I
Yeah.
can't really post pictures of him and like have like evidence or proof that we were close. You know what I mean? People might question like, well, we never seen her around. We don't really know her. Like
Yeah.
that's why I don't really talk about him much. Cause I'm just like people can like be like, well, we never really seen you around, but it's also like I was a kid, so like I can't control that we didn't have those photos to like look over or do this and do that because no one was there to take them. So it's just like really sad for me. As you said, at that time, we weren't really
Right.
the closest because we were like kids. Like we used to always argue and fight. And all that. Obviously, when your cousin was fighting and stuff, can't really say that's the same.
No, we were no, we would fight.
But we were like really like fist
No,
fight,
we were
like
no, we
fight
would
for
fight.
fight, fight for real. And so we were always like at each other's neck. But I
Mm-hmm.
know that we loved each other too. So it's this battle of like, damn, I really want to express this, but then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, should I? Because we weren't like super close like they were. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot. So I don't know. But yeah, I was definitely like when I found out about his death, I was definitely self secluded. I didn't want to talk about it, and to this day, I still don't really talk about it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of like turn it off, like it's like a switch. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? If I like see it on my cousin's page, I'll like scroll real fast, so I have to see it again. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where I'm at with my grieving process. But I know we all have to cope with things
Yeah.
differently, and
Yeah.
I know here you have like how to cope. We like talk to someone, allow yourself time to mourn, say your final goodbyes, reevaluate, and pray. I definitely
Mm-hmm.
pray. So, like you said, did help. I did question my faith. Like why did I get to say my final goodbyes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why can't we have like
Yeah.
um like I don't know, like not a conclusion, but like like something to like know why he passed. We don't know anything. So we didn't get to say our final goodbye. Do a casket, yes. But we don't have evidence on how he passed away. So I did allow myself time to mourn. I did talk to some people, but
Mm-hmm.
being so young, being 13 years old, like what can your friends really say to comfort you? You know what I mean? Because we're so young, our minds are still developing, and like we're still trying to figure out emotions ourselves. So how can a 13-year-old comfort another 13-year-old? Like they can, but it's like
Man.
if they're not equipped with the tools to do that, then how can they? And it's not like my friends were terrible, shitty friends. They just didn't know how to like, you know what I mean? I'm here for you if you need me type thing. Like definitely, my best friend was that way. But there's only so much you can do
Right.
because you don't know how to maneuver those emotions with somebody when you've never been through that yourself, and you're 13 years old. So, but yeah, but that's it. That's it, sis.
Thank you for sharing that with
Of
us.
course.
I know it makes you super emotional, but it's good to talk about it and it's definitely good to get it out. So keep talking about it and keep getting it out. Um so back to the coping with it. So I talked to some of my coworkers and because they've gone through
Right.
losses, you know. When I actually found out some things that I didn't know, about them, like going through miscarriages and losing the person who raised you. I haven't gone through that and I can't imagine that. So I asked them, how did you get through it? Because one of my coworkers has several miscarriages, and I was just like baffled, like, how did you move on? Like, how? And so they gave me some tips, and I'm gonna share them with you guys. So one of my coworkers says affirmations. So I think we've talked about affirmations on this podcast a few different times. Speaking things into existence is important. If you keep telling yourself, I'm never gonna be able to succeed without this person, like I can't do it without this person, and I'm guilty of that. When I kept saying that, like, I don't know how I don't know how I'm gonna live without her. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all something. All right, I'm open, So my cousin passed away like 2 weeks later. I was at the doctor, and the doctor was like, "You're pregnant," and I'm like, I just got super emotional because I'm like, how am I going to bring a baby into this world without my best friend? Like, we used to always talk about having kids, and she would always tell me, I'm going to name my baby Yuna. And I'm just like, girl, stop playing, and it's just like, I know that is one person who I would want my child to be around. It's like, how am I going to raise a child without her? It turned out that the doctor was tripping, which I knew, but she was just like, okay, we're gonna take a blood test just to be sure, because I already knew I wasn't pregnant, but she said it. But it's just that super emotional side of you that kind of just doesn't think straight. So yeah. So affirmations, definitely. And just a heads up, guys, the feeling of wanting them to be there does not go away. Like, you don't get over the person who passed. You just kind of learn to live with it a little bit more every day. And there's probably never going to be a time where you quote unquote get over it, and we're going to get into that too. But it gets a little easier, and then and just like, again, people die from grief. I watched some TED Talks, and one of the episodes I watched, let me see if I can pull it up real quick, because I want to talk to you guys about it. This girl's mom died when she was really young, and her dad didn't deal well with it, and he ended up, I'm gonna say that he died from grief. So he started drinking really heavy because he didn't have anybody to talk to about it, and he felt guilty about it, which is one of the things that you'll feel, and he ended up drinking himself to death. So I think the TED Talk is called Grieving in Silence, is the name of the TED Talk, by Rachel Stephenson. So definitely never grieve alone. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there are people in your life who don't know how to deal with you losing someone, and there are people who don't know what to say. But it is important to find someone to talk to, so you can kind of continue to live through it. If you are a praying person, pray. I know initially it's going to be hard to pray to a person who you feel like took somebody that you love away from you, if you feel like that, but it's going to help you. It's going to help you get how you feel out. Even if you can't get how you feel out to a person, you can get it out of you, get it outside of your body, cuz keeping all that stuff in is not good. There are many connections, and I'm going to share one with you guys today. As far as like support groups who can also help, and who are people who have dealt with situations similar to yours, who can kind of help you with it. And then we were kind of talking about this earlier, Mariah, medication. So I'm not, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but I prefer to take the natural way out. Cause that's just, cause how I am with my body. Like, I try not to take aspirin. Like, I try to drink tea if I have a headache. But if you are someone who feels like you need medication to kind of get through it, then talk to somebody. Like, one of my coworkers was saying that she needed something to help her sleep because she wasn't sleeping, and to help calm her down because she was so always on 10. And that's what she did. And she said it helped her out a lot.
Right.
So and yeah. So and then we were also going to talk about if you are a friend of a grieving person, how to kind of deal with that.
Yeah. I know that they had an article on that, helping others grieve. What it was on mentalhealthamerica.net. We're going to link all these articles as we usually do in the box. But
Yes.
what some of the suggestions were: one, share their sorrow, allow them, even encourage them to talk about their feelings of loss and share memories of the deceased. Two, don't offer false comfort. It doesn't help the grieving person when you say it was for the best or you'll get over it in time. Instead,
Hate it.
it's the
Hate
worst.
that.
Don't ever do that. Instead, offer a simple expression of sorrow and take time to listen. Three, offer practical help. Babysitting, cooking, and running errands are all ways to help someone who is in the midst of grieving. Four, be patient. Remember that it takes a long time to recover from a major loss. Make yourself available to speak, talk, encourage professional help when necessary. Don't hesitate to recommend professional help when you feel someone is experiencing too much pain to cope alone. Therapy, 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 y'all.
Yes. 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 Yes.
But
Yes.
also, Eunice, watched the TED Talk that talked about helping people cope too. So those, but the TED Talk touched on that as well as sharing the sorrow. Letting them talk about the deceased
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't, because I know somebody told a grieving person, well, damn, you're not over this yet.
Wow.
Like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? That'll actually push somebody further into like depression, making them feel like ashamed of being sad. Like, instead of saying, instead of telling them to stop talking about it, let them talk. Like, let them talk to you about it. At least that way they're able to get it out. Like I said, because holding it in is dangerous. Is dangerous. And instead of telling them to get over it, help them get through it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Like, don't say, girl, you need to get over this. Just let's get through this, friend. Let's do this together.
If you tell me to get over this, let's fight.
Cut you off.
Let's fight. I don't care. Let's fight. Okay, let's fight.
You are so violent, B.
Let's have
Dang.
that same energy when I see you. Okay. Because we're not. That's what we're not going to do. Okay, we're not going to tell somebody to get over it when they're grieving somebody that's important to them. We're not doing that. Okay, let's never do that because that is terrible and it's dangerous. Because get your ass. So don't do it. Don't ever tell somebody to get over it when they're grieving. That's weird. It's weird and strange, and you're weird. You're a weirdo for saying that. But yes,
No, seriously.
yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, honestly, this is like one of our best episodes thus far. Like, this topic is a very good episode because I feel like it touches on things that we all can share. You know what I mean? Sometimes people can't talk about the whole stage or whatever else we spoke about or whatever. They don't feel connected to that, but grief is something that everybody can connect to.
Definitely.
I did feel as though, like, when I did not Snapchat, I'm sorry, Instagram combos, I got a lot more responses on this episode due to it be something that I feel like everybody can speak
Oh, I
about.
can't wait to talk about that. I'm excited to know who
Yeah.
people. I'm excited. I'm not excited about grief, but I'm excited that we're able to talk about it.
Like, speak about it. Exactly.
Yeah, because people feel like they have to hold it in. Like, oh, that's another thing that I wanted to tell y'all. Make sure that you take your time off. Like, I know I went straight back to work, and it was a huge mistake because I wasn't ready. Like, I was. If you see me right after it happened, you probably wouldn't recognize me. You probably would be like, "Damn, what's wrong with her?" I tried to go back to work, and my manager at the time, she was like, "Maybe you need to come back next week because I see that you're not here." And I know somebody who took a month off from work. I'm not saying that you should quit your job entirely because that's doing more harm, but take your time and
You don't.
take off from work. You don't need to be around work right away.
I agree.
Just had to get that out. I want to talk about these Snapchat combos. I'm so
Oh,
interested.
yeah, Instagram. So I didn't not sure exactly which questions, like the set questions, but I just made some up. So one of the questions that I asked was, okay, I did warn everybody. I was like, hey, this is a very sensitive topic. Just scrolling, like tapping through these. Just make sure that you can mentally prepare yourself for what I'm about to talk
Mm-hmm.
about next, which is grief. Not everybody wants to talk about that. It is a touchy subject. So I did let everybody know about that. So So one question that I asked was more so on a numeric type of thing, because the other one I asked wasn't very numeric. It was kind of more open ended. But the one I could quantify was, have you had to deal with the passing of a loved one? And I put in parentheses so people could understand what the loved one I was speaking of was: family, friend, spouse, child, etc. And 94% of people said yes, they have, and only 6% of people said no, which would further talk to how I receive this. And so I asked people, what are certain activities you did or do currently to help you cope with their passing? And I got a lot of responses.
Yes, let me hear it.
So yes, here. So my friend Rachel decided to share with us. I know last year she lost her grandfather, but she also wanted to say that she went through grief counseling last year to help her cope, and she said it helped her sort through her feelings because last year she had 7 people pass away who she cared about. 7 people.
Damn.
I didn't make it to counseling until earlier this year, but it helped understand why I felt depressed and why I couldn't shake these feelings. I also spoke to her Instagram username is typically Rachel. And then I spoke to Angelina, and her Instagram is Jador Marie _. She said, "Church, pray, surround myself with people I love." I also got another one from Jacqueline, and her name is Jaquel Anita on Instagram, and it's JCQUELANITIA. And she said, she goes to the mountains to clear her head. She realized everyone grieves differently, but that's what helps her. Um, and then my friend Molly from college, Molly wrote MALIWORLDD, said that she hasn't cried about any of her family members that died.
Oh.
She's not sure what's wrong with her. However, she keeps doing her daily activities. Nothing has changed. And so I told her that nothing is wrong with her. We're all different. Like, the past user just said that we're all different. Like, we all grieve differently. So I don't think that by her not crying, she doesn't care about them any less than anybody else did. It just grieves differently than everybody else did who did cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what are you gonna say, friend?
Like you said, people grieve differently, and they grieve at different times. At the year point of my cousin passing, I felt like I was ready to go see her grave site. My friends were not ready, and I had to accept that. So people people grieve differently, and sometimes people don't cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't experience sadness. Like if you're if you're religious, then you're supposed to, I'm gonna say supposed to, maybe that's not the right word, rejoice when somebody dies and cry when somebody's born, is what they say.
Yeah, it's true. It is true.
Yeah.
We had so many responses, man. Another one from Brandy was, her name is B.MM. She tried to keep myself busy as possible. There's no way that you can let yourself grieve if you try to avoid the feelings. Just to let yourself be sad about it, and as days go on, you'll get better with carrying the weight of the loss. She said, "Hope you're okay, boo." And then my friend Chantel said, "I don't think it ever gets easier to deal or cope with. You just get used to them, get used to life without them. Life goes on, and that's the other equally sad part about it all. Besides losing them physically, that life goes on without them." But yeah, so thank you all for sharing. That really meant a lot to me to hear. And the last thing I want to share is from my friend Eliam, who lost his wife while we were in college. He said, "Finding a passion helps me think about them in a way where they're still with."
Yes, guys, thank you so much.
And then yeah, those are the responses that I got, and I got a lot of responses. But thank you all for sharing. I do appreciate it so much because it means a lot to us when you guys open up to us and let us know the answer to my questions, whether they be small questions or not small, but questions on more lighter topics and something as deep as this. Thank you all for sharing how you handle your emotions and everything. But that was it for this week, you guys. We may have to do a whole nother episode of grieving because it's so much. There's so much to it that I don't think we got to really cover everything. But like we said, we'll definitely copy and paste those articles into the description bar so you can take a look at them and kind of see where we got our stats from and our data from on how to
No, I think so.
effectively cope and grieve.
Yeah.
Not effectively grieve, but effectively cope with grieving. But that was it. Did you have a black business this week?
Of course. So the black business that I have this week is gonna pertain to the topic. So yeah. So the company is called The Great Exchange. I'm gonna call it a company, but it's not really. The Great Exchange is an outreach and support organization for mothers who have lost children to violence. They have support meetings every second Sunday, excluding holidays. However, a support conference call is available on that holiday. Support conference calls every Monday at 7 p.m. and prayer calls every Wednesday at 7 p.m. The dial-in information is 1-515-603-3150. And then the code to do the little to dial in is 729-867 pound. Support meetings are held at the East Baton Rouge Public Library, excuse me, um, and it's free and open to the public. So if you're in Baton Rouge, you can go to the meetings. If you're not in Baton Rouge, they do hold, like I said, conference calls every Monday at 7. And again, the number is 1-515-613. Excuse me, 1-515-603-3150, and the code is 729-867 pound. So, I'm gonna call on Monday and see how it goes, cause I'm interested. I didn't lose a child to violence. However, I am grieving, and I want to know. So, before we say goodbye, I just want everybody to understand that the pain doesn't go away. The feeling of wanting someone doesn't
Yeah.
go away. It just gets kind
Not
of easier to deal with every day. The part that hurts the most for me is knowing the person doesn't exist anymore. Um, and I say the existing part lightly because there are different, like, there are people who, another TED talk I found, there are people who turn their loss of a loved one into organizations, that help other grieving people. And the name of that TED talk is When Someone You Love Dies. And the person speaking is Kelly Lynn. So, what were you going to say,
I'm
Mariah?
going to say, yeah, they're not here in physical form, guys, but they're, you know, here with us in other
Yes.
ways.
So, thank you guys for listening. And I know this one was deep. Um, give us tell us how you think um tell
Yes,
us
talk.
what you think, excuse me, tell us your grieving
Yes. We're
process.
gonna run a poll to see what you guys on our, head over to Melanin Voices, our Facebook page, so you can chime in on the topic. But we're gonna run a poll soon to see what kind of topics you guys want to hear, listen to, and if it aligns with how we feel and what we want to bring to the table, we'll definitely speak on those topics. So yeah, go ahead and write us on our Facebook page and let us know, or our personal pages, let us know. But yeah, thank you all for listening. We appreciate it.
Yes, guys, we love you.
Love you. Have a blessed one. Whatever time of day or night you're listening to this, have a blessed rest of your day, night, afternoon,
Life.
life. Exactly. Bye, y'all.
Bye.